News. I'm Mark Broom. Let's kick things off with a look at the day's headlines. Is it the diplomatic breakthrough we've all been waiting for? There's a renewed sense of optimism on the Korean peninsula following the now complete three-day trip to the south by a high-profile delegation from North Korea. It's day 3 of the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. Team Korea has 1 gold medal in men's speed skating and will look to add to that tally on Monday. The unified women's ice hockey team is also in action tonight, this time against Sweden. Plus, tragedy in Russia. 71 people are killed in a plane crash just outside of Moscow. Local authorities say all lines of inquiry into the crash are open. So let's start with the remarkable improvement in inter-Korean ties that we've seen over the past few days. The North Korean delegation, including Kim Jong-un's younger sister, are back in Pyongyang this morning after departing Seoul late Sunday. The high-ranking delegation is the most highest ranking to ever visit the South, and they squeezed every minute out of their 3-day stay with a packed schedule, mostly beside, in fact, South Korean President Moon Jae-in. Lee Seung-jae starts us off.
The first ever high-level North Korean delegation to the south wrapped up their historic and diplomatically charged trip late Sunday evening. From attending the opening ceremony of the 23rd Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang to lunch with South Korean President Moon Jae-in and many more events at the Games and arts performances, the two high-profile figures from North and South spent a lot of time together over the 3 days. During their fourth and final encounter, President Moon and Kim Hyo-jun, the sister of the regime's leader, met in Seoul to watch a North Korean art troupe perform their second and final concert to celebrate the Olympics. The two sides expressed hope that the reconciliatory mood would be maintained going forward.
소중한 불씨를 만들었으니 이 불씨를 더 이렇게 키워나가서 정말 획득될 수 있도록 함께
Now that we have set a foundation to exchange opinions and even hold reunions with President Moon Jae-in, I return home with the hope we can meet again.
Before attending the art troupe performance, President Moon's chief of staff held a farewell dinner for the delegation. Earlier in the day, the delegation was hosted by South Korean Prime Minister Lee Na-kyun for lunch. Lee said the two Koreas should actively work together to create the right conditions for a meeting between President Moon and Kim Jong-un. His comments were in reference to the North Korean leader's invitation for President Moon to visit Pyongyang. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
Now, as a follow-up to that report, the South Korean government says North Korea is increasingly committed to improving inter-Korean relations. Seoul's Unification Ministry said Sunday that the government will make efforts to continue the momentum of inter-Korean dialogue sparked by the 3-day visit by that high-level delegation from North Korea. The ministry said the basic foundation to discuss inter-Korean issues between the leaders of the two Koreas was created with the understanding of pending issues on the Korean peninsula enhanced through their recent talks. However, while the foundation for a peaceful resolution was created, the ministry admitted that there was no tangible progress towards the process of denuclearization.
Good morning, I'm Kim Mo-kyun from the News Center, and from today, I'll be bringing you the latest on the Pyeongchang Winter Olympic Games. First, let me give you a brief rundown on the highlights so far and what to look out for. We are on day 3 of the Winter Games, and South Korea has already locked up its first gold medal. Short track speed skater Lim Hyo-jun won South Korea's first medal in Pyeongchang and received his gold on Sunday, a day after he was victorious in the final of the men's 1,500-meter short track event. The 21-year-old stood on the top of the podium with Sinky Nets to his right with a silver and Semen Ilistratov, an Olympic athlete from Russia, to his left with a bronze. Moving on to speed skating, Dutch speed skating maestro Sven Kramer has done it again, this time becoming the first Olympic speed skater to win an individual event 3 straight times. Kramer set a new Olympic record on Sunday, finishing the 5,000-meter race in 6 minutes 9.76 seconds. He broke his own previous record set in Sochi 4 years ago. He won the event for the first time in 2010. Canadian Tae-John Blumen took the silver, and the bronze went to Norway's Sverre Lunde Pedersen. South Korean Lee Seung-un finished fifth. The Unified Koreans women's ice hockey team will take to the ice for the second time on Monday night. They face Sweden at 9:30 p.m. Korea time at the Kwangdong Hockey Center in Gangneung. The team, competing under the Unification flag, makes its Olympic debut against Switzerland on Saturday, where they lost 8-0. Sweden are the fifth best team in the world, so Korea can expect a tough game tonight, but we wish them the best of luck. So with that, let's now take a look at the medal standings as of 9:30 a.m. Korea time. And Germany is off to a great start. They are on top of the medal standings with 3 gold medals, 2 coming from the biathlon events and 1 in the ski jump. The Netherlands are second thanks to their dominance in speed skating, winning 2 golds, 1 in the men's 5,000 meter and the other in the women's 3,000 meter event. Norway are third with 1 gold, 4 silver and 3 bronze for a total of 8 medals, the most so far. South Korea is fifth with 1 gold medal. So before I say goodbye, let's take a look at some of the standout events that await us on day 3. We will have more updates for you throughout the day, so stay tuned. I'll see you guys again tomorrow.
Well, thank you very much to our Kim Myo-jun, who's going to be joining us every day, every weekday anyway, live during the Olympics. But now let's connect live to the host city of Pyeongchang, the bitterly cold host city as well. There are plenty of events lined up on the ice and snow on Monday, day 3 of the Games, as we just saw. Now, the weather has been exceptionally cold and it's showing no signs of letting up, leaving spectators shivering as they watch the outdoor events. The indoor events, of course, are rather warm. For more on the weather and the rest of the action, let's cross to our Ji-won, who is standing by outside for us in Pyeongchang. So, Ji-won, we do hear, and we can tell by the way you look, that this is the coldest Winter Games since the 1994 Olympics. Can you just give us an update on the weather there?
Mark, it's extremely cold and was the same throughout the weekend. The temperature in Pyeongchang here now stands at around minus low teens, and with the wind chill factor, it's around minus 13 degrees Celsius. And the forecast tells us that even today's high will remain below the freezing point. So yes, another cold and frigid day for us here. And due to an even stronger gusty wind, over the weekend, some snow events had to be postponed or even cancelled. Men's downhill alpine skiing was postponed and women's snowboard slopestyle qualification got cancelled, meaning they put all 27 snowboarders straight into Monday's final, meaning they have just 2 runs. But despite the weather, the Olympic heat is still hot in the town, and it's safe to say the fans are having great fun.
And because of the atmosphere in the stadium, you can't feel the atmosphere at home. The cheering, the music, the commentary, the enthusiasm, you can't feel that at home.
We came because we wanted to be at this historic site a moment and to cheer for Team Korea. The Olympic heat sure is great here.
Well, Ji-won, it's good to see that everyone's having a great time despite the cold weather. Outside of the sports, though, we hear that there are a ton of cultural events and performances taking place, and you have been to a couple yourself.
That's right, Mark. The organizers hope to make Pyeongchang Olympics a cultural Olympics, and there around the venues there are a lot of cultural performances and events being held, many of which are free. Near the Pyeongchang Olympic Plaza is the Pyeongchang Festival Park, which hosts different cultural performances every hour, including a Chinese circus and a jazz band. Another corner has booths filled with Korean and international food for visitors to try. Let's hear from some people who indulged in those.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'm glad that they're doing that because it gives us an opportunity to see more than just the sports, but to actually understand the culture a little bit more. Now we want to see more.
We came over here and saw all the food, and we wanted to, try the different dishes. Never had Korean food before, and now we've come back today to try some other things.
And it's not just the eyes and the taste buds that are entertained. Visitors can also get active by enjoying winter activities like sledding at the Daegeolleong Snow Festival.
We saw that this place has a snow festival being held, and so we dropped by to ride some sled. It was really fun, and it kind of gives us a feeling that we're all part of the Olympics.
Now, these are just some of the many festivals that have opened here. So for those of you who are interested in finding out more about when and where you can enjoy these cultural events, check out the website on the screen and make sure to enjoy your trip in Pyeongchang and Gangneung to the fullest. Back to you, Mark.
Well, thank you very much, Ji-won, for that report. Do stay as warm as you possibly can, and we'll be connecting to you again throughout the day, I'm sure. Now, in other news, Olympic-related news as well, the North Korean cheering squad will be making their first outdoor appearance at the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics later today. The group, dubbed the Army of Beauties, will be attending the women's alpine ski giant slalom event at the Yongpyeong Alpine Centre, the first run starting in just a few minutes, in fact. They'll be cheering on 1 North Korean and 2 South Korean competitors. It's their third appearance in all after coming out to support Korean short track speed skaters and the unified Korea women's ice hockey team over the weekend. Later in the day, they are going to return to Gangneung to cheer on the women's ice hockey team once again, who will be taking on Sweden in their second group match. So the Winter Olympics are a celebration of sport, but the Games also have a strong cultural component as well. With so many guests flooding in from all over the world, the host nation has the chance to promote the best of its art and culture to a broader global audience. And one event that aims to do that is the Pyeongchang 2018 Cultural Olympiad. Our Won Jong-hwan went to check it out and files this report.
The Pyeongchang 2018 Cultural Olympiad is underway in Korea's Olympic host cities, offering all kinds of cultural events such as performances, exhibitions, and experience programs. One of the most highly anticipated events is the K-pop World Festa, which will be held every weekend throughout the Olympic period. The first edition was held Saturday, bringing popular Korean singers to the stage at Gangneung Wonju National University and highlighting Korean cultural content for the whole world.
We came here because this is our school. It's really fun and exciting.
We are really excited about it because back home in Malaysia, this event has become so popular, and of course when you tie it to the Winter Olympic, it's really a package that we wanted to see as well.
K-pop has put Korea on the map of global popular culture. Leading K-pop stars are in Gangneung to commemorate the Olympics being held in their home country, to showcase the host country's culture, and to promote the Winter Games.
K-pop stars are some of the greatest celebrities in the world, and I strongly believe that they will be very good representative models and public ambassadors of the Pyeongchang 2018.
The Pyeongchang 2018 Cultural Olympiad seeks to make Pyeongchang a cultural brand as the center of culture, sports, and leisure tourism, and to build legacies that are sustainable even after the Winter Games. Here at the K-pop World Festa, visitors can feel the heat and enthusiasm of the Pyeongchang 2018's Cultural Olympiad every Saturday until the day before of the closing ceremony. Won Jong-hwan, Arirang News, Gangneung.
Now for a look at stories making headlines around the world, and we start in Russia, where a passenger plane crashed on Sunday, killing all 71 people on board. For more on this and other news, let's turn to our Noah Adam. So Adam, horrific reports are coming out from the crash site. Just run us through what happened.
Well, Mark, the short-haul AN-148 operated by Saratov Airlines took off for the city of Orsk on Sunday. It was carrying 65 passengers and 6 crew members before it disappeared from radar just minutes after departing from Domodedovo Airport. Eyewitnesses described the plane being on fire as it went down. Pieces of wreckage and bodies were found spread across a snow-filled Ramenskoye area about 40 kilometers from the airport. Officials are searching the field to look for bodies and any evidence that may determine the cause of the incident. One of the flight recorders was said to have been recovered, and Russian officials have denied reports that the pilot reported a malfunction. Among the possible causes they listed were weather conditions, human error, and the plane's technical condition. State news agency TASS said the plane, which had been flying since 2010, was out of service for 2 years because of a shortage of parts, but was put back into service this month. President Vladimir Putin, meanwhile, expressed his condolences to the victims' families and put off a planned trip to Sochi to monitor the investigation. Israel's Prime Minister says his country's forces had dealt what he called severe blows to Iranian and Syrian forces after an Israeli warplane was shot down by Syrian anti-aircraft fire. In a cabinet meeting on Sunday, Benjamin Netanyahu added that he would continue to take action against further aggression. His tough words came a day after Israel lost an F-16 to enemy fire as it returned from a bombing raid on Iran-backed positions in Syria. This sparked Israel to launch its biggest airstrikes on Syria in decades, which targeted about a dozen Iranian and Syrian targets, including air defense systems. Israel is concerned about what it sees as an increased Iranian involvement along its borders with Syria and Lebanon. Iran has insisted it is backing the Syrian government in the country's civil war and is not seeking wider conflict. Eurostar, the firm that runs trains between London, Paris and Brussels, is adding Amsterdam to its destination list. Eurostar says the route will start from April 4th and claims the journey from London to the Dutch capital will take 3 hours and 41 minutes. The company says more than 4 million people travel between the two cities by air, and it is hoping to boost traffic with the new rail route. The Trump administration is reportedly moving towards privatizing the International Space Station after ending its funding to the Space Lab from 2025. A NASA document obtained by the Washington Post reads, quote, "It is possible that industry could continue to operate certain elements or capabilities of the ISS as part of a future commercial platform." The document goes on to say that the space agency will focus on expanding its commercial partnerships over the next 7 years to prepare for an eventual handover. The White House budget request will be released on Monday, which is expected to include a $150 million proposal to help with the transition to the private sector. But some lawmakers and experts warn that such a move could disrupt international agreements as well as U.S. scientific research.
Now, the head of the IMF says she isn't overly concerned about last week's volatility in global markets, seeing it as more as a welcome correction. Speaking in Dubai on Sunday, Christine Lagarde said sharp swings aren't that worrying since economic growth is still strong. Her comments come after Wall Street and other major financial markets plunged sharply last week. She was echoing the sentiment of other experts who noted that despite the rollercoaster ride on the markets, global GDP, global growth rates and company earnings are still pretty strong. Korea's southeastern city of Pohang was hit by a 4.6 magnitude earthquake on Sunday, resulting in some injuries and damages to facilities. The Korea Meteorological Administration said the tremor is believed to be an aftershock of the 5.4 magnitude quake that hit Pohang 3 months ago, making it the strongest aftershock yet. The quake struck at 5:03 a.m., about 5 kilometers northwest of the city, but it was reportedly felt as far away as Seoul, with some 1,400 calls coming in to fire stations. 2 people were hospitalized, while at least 20 people have returned to their homes after receiving treatment in nearby hospitals. Since the quake, several aftershocks over 2.0 in magnitude have been detected. Now, to meet the demands of smart consumers, companies are turning to something called experience marketing. The direct connection between a brand and consumers can drive brand loyalty and boost sales in the process. Park Se-young with more.
At this exhibition center, visitors can test drive Hyundai's Genesis vehicles and receive a tailored purchasing experience. This home appliance maker has been getting positive feedback by letting customers try out its products by cooking on the spot.
After cooking, I felt I could trust the product and wanted to buy one.
Experiential marketing focuses on providing product experience rather than selling. The method can help companies build long-term brand loyalty. Recently, a sportswear brand turned its entire store into an experience space for its products.
Instead of simply buying products, consumers can try them out and experience our cultural space.
To keep pace with the ever-evolving consumer, companies are expected to keep developing such brand centers as a pivotal part of their marketing strategies. Park Se-young, Arirang News.
Now, webtoons are among the most popular forms of entertainment here in Korea, as they can be enjoyed quickly and conveniently through our smartphones. In a bid to boost global interest in the art form, which has spawned hugely successful TV shows and movies, Korean artists have taken their work to France. Jo Sung-min with the details.
Webtoon, a contemporary art form conceived and developed in Korea, was featured in an exhibition at the Korean Cultural Center in Paris. The event was launched to highlight the positive attributes of webtoons and to offer local cartoon enthusiasts the chance to experience artworks on PCs and mobile phones.
Since Webtoon was born in Korea, I feel it is my duty to promote not only to the French audience but also to the rest of the world.
To commemorate and embrace the notion of unity ahead of the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics, a booth with more than 50 artworks was set up at the exhibition hall to demonstrate the multifaceted possibilities that webtoons offer to convey a message in endless forms.
There is something special about this form of art, and I feel it can easily bring down cultural barriers and become widely accepted globally.
As it could be directly defined by the word itself, webtoons are comics published online, which was first introduced in 2003 by the Korean internet portal Daum. What makes webtoons stand out from other art forms is its accessibility. People can enjoy webtoons anywhere and anytime as long as they're connected to the internet via a PC or smartphone. Moreover, webtoons are becoming sources for successful TV dramas and blockbusters, such as Train to Busan, which made waves in many countries. Korean webtoons are set to receive more international spotlight in the near future, as the genre is being lauded as an optimal platform to further spread Hallyu or the Korean wave around the world. Jo Sung-min, Arirang News.
Good morning. The nation is waking up to a deep freeze yet again. Cold wave alerts are in place in many parts, so dress warmly on your way out. Meanwhile, Gwangju and Jeollado regions are seeing a lot of snow, and there's a heavy snow advisory in place, with Gwangju seeing up to 5 centimeters of snowfall, while the rest of us will be dealing with continuous dry weather. But concern is rising as the Jeollado regions will see more snowfall, with up to 7 centimeters expected through early tomorrow morning, while Chungcheongdo regions as well as mountainous regions in Jeju will also see some heavy snowfall. On that note, here are the readings for this afternoon. Daily highs in Seoul will only make it to -2 degrees Celsius this afternoon. Busan will get up to 3 degrees under mostly sunny skies. Now, readings will bounce back starting tomorrow afternoon, but expect to see freezing morning lows for the time being, even during the Seollal or the Lunar New Year holiday. And Pyeongchang is under cold and dry weather alerts, while winds will pick up in the afternoon. That's Korea for you, and here's the international weather for viewers around the world.
And that's where we're going to leave our news bulletin for now. Our next newscast is coming up at noon Korea time. So until then, goodbye.
It's a place every tourist has to go through after arriving in Korea, the Incheon International Airport. In winter of 2018,